Please state. Good morning, everyone. Actually, it's stress kills. I guess I probably typed it. So, I was stressed out this morning writing that. Does stress kill our membership a little bit? That's the question I'm asking myself as the new VP of membership. How does that affect us? And it came up because of last week. Last week I was an evaluator, and I had to evaluate Tracy Hartman. And she did this great speech, and I had her book there, and I was going down the list of items, and everything was really good, and I was supposed to evaluate her. But she did everything like perfectly. Well, maybe not perfect. Nobody's perfect, but I had nothing that I could say. So I was going to come up here and say she was perfect. That was my whole. So I came up with some things just to stall and fill up the time. But when I was done, I went back there and sat down and thought, I hate this. I really kind of hate this. I'm stupid. I didn't know that. I tried to she roasted our whole club, so I tried to roast her back a little bit. But I did a bad job, I felt like. And I really felt a lot of stress. In fact, the rest of the day, I felt kind of stressed out because I felt I'd done such a poor job and it exposed parts of myself that I didn't really want to expose, like lack of intelligence or inability to speak well. So, and then there were some other things that happened as the VP of membership, Deidre, came back last week. And I asked her why she hadn't been around for a little while. She said, oh, she moved and bought a new house and kids going back to school and stuff. But I know when she kind of disappeared 3-4 weeks before, she'd always mentioned that no matter what happens, she gets called for table topics. And even once when she was the timer, she managed to get called every week. And yet I never got called for table topics. So I thought it was interesting. I wondered if she didn't show up because of that. And she said, no, that wasn't the case. And yet, again, last week, first time back after break, she gets called for table topics. I'm glad to see her back. I'm really glad to see her back. Because I thought maybe she wouldn't want to come again. And then Heidi came last week, and she thought she might become a new member. But she asked me kind of for a few minutes, do I have to speak for a while? And I'm scratching my head going, well, in a way, is there any way to get out of table topics? Once you're here, how do you get out of it? I mean, maybe you really don't want to. And I think so I think that it reminds me of this group in general. You know, like this seems like an interesting group of speakers. And so I have a question for all of you. And you're either in group A or B. And group A is you're a low stress speaker. You know, you enjoy the stress and, you know, you kind of think it maybe even helps. And then you're on more my end of the spectrum. You're more of a high stress speaker, and you think it actually kind of makes the whole thing a miserable experience at times, and you kind of wish you weren't here. So first, if you raise your hand, everybody's got to be A or B, so are you a low stress person? Okay. So how many are the high stress? So you got 4. Okay. So I look at the current members and I go, whoa, look at, we have the national champ, Stacy. We have our local champions, John and John. We got Mark Eaton shows up sometimes. That's pretty cool. You know, he's like a triple crown guy. We have all these really good speakers. And then we get even new members that show up. Like Holly, she came, were you even a member the first time you had to do table topics? Yeah. No, she got asked to do table topics, and she wasn't even a member yet, and she did great. I go, whoa. And Dave, you gave was that your first speech that you weren't supposed to give that day? But you gave it anyway. You did great, first time. So even our new members, a lot of them are not exactly like, they were not necessarily in a high-stress group. They kind of liked it here. They just slid right in and they're doing great. So it occurred to me that I don't see a lot of amateurs here. Maybe that's what our club doesn't even really want. Maybe we want to have this club be more of like guys who are really trying to get to be really good. But it occurs to me that because we have all these good speakers, it makes it so the amateur guy is even more under stress because you're sitting there trying to evaluate them. You can't even find one thing they did wrong. And if you table topics, a lot of people are very good, and if you're not into table topics or impromptu stuff, it's a lot of stress, and you can't get out of it. And So, or also there's other reasons you might really want to get out of speaking for a day. What if you're hungover? What if you just feel like crap and you want to come visit some people you like? How do you get out of this thing? So it's just my thought, and I'm sure that Toastmasters has discussed this before, but I've come up with a new idea that should be an option. We have all these placards. I think we should have another placard possibly available. I suggest saying no. So, well, I think it makes sense, because then if Manu joins and she's here next week, why can't she have her placard that says, I'd rather really not speak, at least this week. Okay, or what if you're drunk and you really wanted to come, but you didn't want to speak, so you knew I could grab the no speak placard. Or, and then the other side of the coin is, what about the people who want to do table topics and they never get called? I never get called. So you could have the other side of the placard in front of you and go, I want to do table topics and nobody calls me. So this is my idea, and I think there could be other ways to solve the problem. We could send a list to the table topics master. We could do it on the schedule. I don't know if I'm supposed to even suggest things like this, but I'm a VP. Cool. Anybody who wants to speak? Dave wants to speak, so we'll give him a green. If you change your mind because you feel better during the meeting, you can. So, anyway, that is my speech for today. Thank you very much, and I hope that might be a way that some of you who feel in the high stress group can continue to return and enjoy being a Toastmaster. Thank you.